Today we are learning the Stairway to Heaven of old time banjo, talking about Cripple Creek. This is just one of those songs that I feel like every banjo player should learn. It's a joy to play. Sounds very impressive, even though it's not super difficult to play. So let's get into it. All right, the first thing you should probably do is go into the description. The first line of the description will have a link to the tab. Go grab that. It'll be in your inbox by the time this video is over. Next thing we're going to do is get tuned up. So we are in standard open G tuning here. That's just G, D, G, B, D. And that nice open G chord when you strum the strings. Just 3 chords you got to know for Cripple Creek. We've got our G, our C, and our D. And when we put them all together for Cripple Creek, our chord progression just goes G, C, G, D, G, G, C, G, G, D, G, G, D, G, D, G. Very simple. Yeah, it's pretty standard for old time songs. You use, 2 or 3 chords. Nothing too difficult here. This song has 2 parts, an A part and a B part. We'll tackle them one at a time. So after you have the chord progression and those changes are sounding pretty smooth, the next step is to learn the melody. We'll start with the A part, then we'll go to the B part. A part is just simple, right? You kind of want to start to commit that to memory if you can. I always think the easiest way to learn and remember songs is just to get that melody really concrete in your head. The rest is just filler. You don't have to worry about it too much, right? So we'll go the whole way through with the A part, and then we'll look at the B part. Our next step, once we have that melody in our heads, is to do a basic bare bones Clawhammer Banjo arrangement. So the easiest way to do that is to think about superimposing that bum diddy rhythm over the melody. So if we look at our tab, we know that we have this 1, 2, and 3, 4, and rhythm, right? So we're going to need to add to beats 2 and 4 for the 2 and 4 end. Easiest way to do that is if we're not playing a note on beats 2 or 4, we just add a brushstroke thumb pluck. If there is a melody note there, then we just add a thumb pluck afterwards, and it looks like this. So once we have that, our bare bones arrangement of the A part is just going to sound like this. So let's do the same thing for the B part, and then we'll kind of work on embellishing it and making it fancy. So our B part melody is just going to sound like this. And again, you want to kind of play through that until you can hum it in your head. You can kind of commit it to memory and just play that melody smoothly. Because again, we're just hanging everything else off of that. No matter how fancy what we're playing sounds, it's really rooted in that melody. So again, we do that same thing where we add the bum diddy rhythm to it. So beats 2 and 4, if there's a melody note, we add a thumb pluck. If there is no melody note, we add a brushstroke with a thumb pluck. And that ends up sounding like this. So if we play through our bare bones arrangement, this is what it sounds like. Honestly, I think that already sounds pretty cool. We can make it better. We're going to add some embellishments here. All right, so Cripple Creek sounds really great with slides. It's kind of what gives it that bouncy, banjo-y feel. So we add a bunch of slides in here, and one of the easiest places to do that is when we have that open 2nd string. We can just find that same note on the 3rd string, which would be the 4th fret. And so we can replace our open 2nd string notes with a slide from 2 to 4 on the 3rd. So now our A part becomes. Next, another really good opportunity for a slide, and if you kind of listen to other versions of the song, it's very common, is we slide from the 2nd fret to the 5th fret to kick things off. So, and then we add a little brushstroke on 2. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and again, we're going from a fretted note to an open note. Really good spot for a pull off. So we end up with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can do a single note strike on beat 4 there, or brushstroke. Either one sounds fine. So also sounds good. That's the thing, these are just kind of my suggestions. These aren't rules. Feel free to break them. Do what feels comfortable for you. Again, as long as you have that melody intact, it's going to sound good. So next, when I look in measure 2, we've got this ascending melody here. So second string to first string. Well, that's actually a really good spot a lot of times for an alternate string pull off. So what we can do here is hit our index finger on the first fret of the second string to start. So 1, and then pull off with your ring finger there from that second fret of the first string. So 1 and 2 and you're just going to replace it on the 2. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and then again in measure 3, we see we're going from a fretted note to an open note. That's the second fret of the third string to the open. Again, really easy spot to do a pull off. So it becomes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? In that fourth measure, again, like we could do a hammer-on there. You could leave it as is to emphasize those nice bassy notes there. It's whatever feels good to you. So if I play through that first line now, it sounds like this. Yeah, really cool, right? So we're just kind of hanging these little embellishments on that melody and that chord progression. All right, so let's look at the B part. So the first thing we're going to do is replace any open second strings with a slide from 2 to 4 on the third string. So we end up with right? And then we see in that first measure, third beat, we're going from a fretted note to an open note. So let's just turn that into a pull off. And we see in measure 7, the same thing. We're going from a fretted note to an open note. So let's also make that a pull off. And there we go. We've just added a few really simple embellishments to that B part, but it's going to sound a lot better. So we're going from to really cool, right? So let's play our full arrangement here. If you download the tab, like I said, there'll be some more sort of embellishments in there, other things you can try. Work on making this your own though. By the way, I also want to mention, if this is sort of beyond you, if you're not really comfortable with some of these techniques, if you're brand new to the banjo, I've got a free 90-minute video course. I will link that in the description as well. Okay, so here's what our final version sounds like. Really nice, right? This is just a song you can pick up and play at any time. It's simple. It's only 2 lines, but man, it just sounds so good. Now, this is just one of the 5 songs that I said every banjo player should know. If you want to learn the rest, go here.